Alright, hello and welcome to Daily Space for today, May 31st at 2019. Okay, yeah, I'm obviously struggling with English for a while. So, hi! I'm your host, Annie, and I do things a little differently than Dr. Pamela. I start super early, and then I kind of hang out for a little bit and make sure people trickle in because not everybody gets here exactly at 1. So yeah, let's see, what do I have for you today? I have some rocket stories for you and a space mission update, and of course we're going to talk about Bennu because we need to map Bennu. Anyway, hey, don't bark. Anyways, I have dogs and a cat. They will bark, they will meow, they will be annoying. I apologize for this and I will mute as fast as I can. I fed the cat, so there shouldn't be any cat appearances. So with all of that, I'm going to get into the news, and please, if you have questions, go ahead and at me so it's easier for me to find the questions. I don't know if Dr. Pamela is watching today. I think she's busy with other things, so we're going to have to use our collective brain power to make sure we get the correct answers to these questions, and if I screw something up, do not hesitate to correct me, because I will screw something up. Alright, so let's get at this, shall we? So first up, as soon as I find my notes, is the Soyuz launch of GLONASS went off without a hitch. GLONASS, as a reminder, is the Russian equivalent of GPS. So this took off May 27th at 6:23 a.m. UTC. That was 2:23 a.m. Eastern. We did not stream this launch. Rocketlaunch.live, which is the site I use to get all of my rocket launch updates, reported that no live video was expected. It happens. But we have video. So also, this is indeed the rocket that got hit by a lightning strike. So here's the video, which I will play for you in a second. And this is just pre-launch photos. And the train, I like the train. See the rain, and then this is just going to be a series of still images. There it is. There was that video of it getting hit by lightning. So it is not uncommon for aircraft to get hit by lightning at all. It really isn't, and that's just one of the things. And because let's see if I can get a still of this up. No, go away. Not quite. Alright, so I apparently can't... Oh, there we go. It looked like I got it up. So, rocket launches are loud, right? The engines from the rockets are loud, and that's why we don't hear a sonic boom when it's going up, is because the engines are so loud. It's also why we didn't hear a crack of thunder in this video, is because the engines were so loud. So freaking loud. Yeah. So it's cool. Everything went fine. Everything's successful. It was just kind of a weird, kind of freak of nature thing that it got hit by a bolt of lightning. Alright, so the next launch we're going to talk about is the launch that occurred May 30th, which was what? Yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday. So yesterday's Daily Space was a little messed up because this launch was pretty much at, 1:42 Eastern Time, which is about when we're wrapping up Daily Space, but that's when the launch happens. That doesn't include all the pre-flight coverage. So Russia launched Yamal 601, which is to replace Yamal 201. These are all communication satellites. Here's a neat graphic I found of it. They apparently did use 3 or 4 stages. Oh, they did use 4 stages. And everything went well. We did stream this. This was live broadcasted. It's going to be a geostationary, or it is rather, a geostationary communications satellite with a total of 52 transponders in the KU, KA, and C bands. The expected lifespan is 15 years. So, yeah, the craft is based on the Spacebus 4000 Charlie 4 platform, which currently has 5 other sister satellites in orbit, 4 of which are flying for fellow French company Eutelsat. Canada's SEAL 2 ComSats rounds out the group, and all but Eutelsat 8 West Bravo were launched from Baikonur via the same model of Proton M engine with the Breeze upper stage. So there's a lot of transponders on this. I don't fully understand why. Art Instro thought it was curious too. And here is some footage from that launch too, in case you missed it yesterday. This is just a still image. So this is the still image of the launch. Really nice night launch in Russia. And here's the video! Close-up. Look at that close-up! Some of the comms traffic, which is delivered on loudspeakers. Yeah, I know, everybody's probably like, no, not my headphones! And then I think this is the one that just keeps going on. This entire video is about 10 minutes long, so I'm going to stop it here. And it's easily found on Roscosmos website. So there's that. And apparently we have a feline visitor. Hello, cat. Come hang out with me. So this rocket was solid fuel, I think. I think it was, because I still have my rocket models out. I'm fairly certain it was solid fuel. So this is the UDMH, the unsymmetrical dimethyl hydrazine. And this would have been the oxygenizer. The as DPI says, DNTO, so dinitrogen tetraoxygen. So 2 nitrogens, 4 oxygens. Blue is nitrogen, red is oxygen. Oh, it is liquid fuel. Okay, well, okay. I get this mixed up all of the time. All of the time. But yeah, no, they use the not good stuff. They use this stuff instead of this stuff. So yeah, well, Kat, I don't know what you want. And are you going to make comments about Russian rockets? That's what I thought. Okay, so UDMH. So UDMH is this. It is unsymmetrical dimethyl hydrazine. The hydrazine is the 2 blue nitrogen groups in the middle. The methyl, or the dimethyl, is the 2 methyl groups, which are the black with the white. So that's C3 groups. 1 carbon, 3 hydrogen, and unsymmetrical means that it's on one side of the hydrogen, or on one side of the hydrazine and not the other. So it's yeah, this is not good stuff to be around. I think a lot of US companies launch with liquid. First, they may use RP1, which is kerosene, which is it's a long carbon chain, and I've made that model once, but it's too awkward to keep around on my desk. Some other rockets use liquid hydrogen, which is just this. It's just two little hydrogens bonded together. I know. And liquid oxygen as the oxidizer, which is just two oxygen atoms in a double bond, and when they combine, they make water. So that's pretty, non-toxic. So yeah, and RP1 is fancy jet fuel. So that is indeed, the difference between rocket fuels. The cat has opinions on this, apparently. So those are the two launches that happened. And there's another launch coming up. China is launching June 4th or 5th at an unknown time. There will be no live video, so we will not be streaming. And even more on top of that, this is going to be a sea launch, meaning there's not going to be a bunch of random people standing around trying to get video. You, just come here. Just come here. Just be here with me. Just be here with me. So 4th or 5th, unknown time, no live video. We will not be streaming. It's going to be a sea launch. And it is going to be the very first sea launch of the Long March 11. The Long March 11 is a solid fuel rocket. It is in my notes that it's a solid fuel rocket. So they're going to launch from the Yellow Sea. And they're going to apparently launch 2 GLONASS Earth imaging satellites. GLONASS a constellation of remote sensing satellites that China has up. Each set of satellites that it adds to this constellation has different abilities, so things of that nature. And let's see what else. So, I know. So this is a poster. I know you can't see a lot of detail on it, so just bear with me for a second. So the maiden sea launch of the Long March 11 is named after Wei, which is a Chinese luxury SUV maker. So yes, the launch is literally called CV, which is what the rockets are called in Chinese. CV-11 Wei. Launched stuff on Twitter. Shared that Wei is holding a competition on Weibo, which is Chinese social media, where 2 people will be invited to watch the launch live. Just 2 people. This is their promotional poster. It's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, it kind of is. I know it's hard and small to see the details. We don't really care about a lot of the details, but we care about some of the details. So this is a close-up of that center of the poster, and Launch Stuff pointed out that the poster had a few inaccuracies. So here's a few issues that Launch Stuff noted. The 21-meter rocket is fitting perfectly in the mobile launcher platform that was designed for a 110-meter rocket. 2. Featuring the mobile launcher platform that was used for launching Saturn V's. 3. The same mobile launching platform is magically floating in the water. This is not at all what the launch is going to look like. Not at all. It makes for a very pretty picture, but as Launch Stuff went on to say, but I guess it sure is prettier than a transporter erector launcher sitting on an empty old cargo ship. So that will be interesting. I don't know if we'll get images of this before or after, so yeah. If we get pictures of it, of the launch, I'm going to show them to you. So because this is a sea launch, the debris is not going to hit China proper, I think. I don't think anyone's really found out exactly where the debris will hit. We might have more information on that next week. So hopefully nobody gets hit by this. The ocean is large. It's not as densely populated as Earth. So yeah. I hope it all works out. I hope everything goes well. And I mean, I'm not exactly thrilled about, thinking about all of the toxic things that are going to be in the ocean after this. But I guess it beats hitting random villages. Okay, so enough of launch stuff. On to space mission stuff. So Hayabusa earlier this month attempted to drop a target marker, and something went wrong on the craft's descent, and it automatically went back up. And no, I don't know what went wrong, but it successfully dropped a target marker yesterday. So that's really, really exciting. That really bright spot that you see is indeed the target marker. You can see the shadow of the craft just right above its asteroid, and yeah, I'm really excited. I hope it goes well. They are probably going to bomb the asteroid again, which just sounds so silly to me. They're going to bomb the asteroid again, which is why they needed the target marker, or they might bomb the asteroid again and they need a target marker. Either way, they were able to get their mission off successful, and now they have a target marker for doing future science, including bombing asteroids. So, what does Hayabusa 2 and its asteroid have to do with us? Well, the team on Hayabusa 2 and the team of OSIRIS-REx work together, and they will actually exchange data and hopefully sample material if there's enough to exchange. And they do communicate regularly, because both of the asteroids that the teams are working on are not what they expected based on Hayabusa 1's original mission. So speaking of Bennu, all right, Bennu. So we've got a lot of rocks that need mapped on Bennu. And I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. So the last count, and I'm refreshing the page right now, the last count, we have 849 completed images. All right, and we have 1,410 to go. So we're making pretty good progress. So for those 1,410 remaining images, we need 15 people per image. It sounds like a lot. It is. And this is why we need as much help as we can get. And everybody's doing a wonderful job. Keep at it. Yesterday, Dr. Pamela showed some data visualization of some finished images, and everybody's doing a wonderful job. And no, we cannot have computers do this, because computers are stupid and humans have a superpower, which is pattern recognition. We can tell you that, you want to mark things that are half the size of a blue dot to 3 times the size of a blue dot as a rock. The blue dot is the rock marking tool. And we can tell you to drag a line along the longest axis on a boulder. You can't just give computers instructions like that. They are dumb. They need way more explicit instructions. So eventually maybe we can have computers do this, but we have to do a bunch of images to train the computers, and 849 is not enough images to train the computers. So yeah, there's that. All right, so I am going to scroll back up and try to look at your questions that I may have missed while I was covering the news, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So if you have any more questions, now is the time to ask them. I'm trying to keep the cat in my lap and quiet. So I know... All right, so here's kind of the start. So Noel asked, did the official daily space starts time change? No, it's still 1 o'clock. I tend to wait, and this is a holdover from the days I worked in the planetarium. I tend to wait about 10 minutes afterwards, after the official start time, to let people trickle in, because somebody's always late. Somebody's always late. And that's just kind of how it is. And I'm not super pressed for time. I'm sorry if you're pressed for time and I'm cutting into your time. But we're still done about 1:30. And oof, there goes the cat. All right, maybe we'll have cat on dog cam. Nope, cat is walking away. So, Nak says never apologize for floofers. It's hard to not apologize when the cat walks all over my keyboard and cries in the background and sounds like a baby. Sounds like a baby. YYZ asked, is this the same kind of Soyuz used for human-rated launches? So, actually, that's a very good question, because Soyuz is a very confusing name, because they, Soyuz is both the name of a rocket and the capsule that they launch people in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through the launch history on RocketSpace.live quickly. They use a Soyuz FG for human-rated launches, and it does not look like it is the same Soyuz at all. So let me go back up. I guess there would have been an easier way to do this, huh? And for GLONASS, they used a Soyuz 2. And for Yamal, they used a Proton M. So no, it is not the same kind of Soyuz that's human rated. What are they burning? The yellow in the smoke looks toxic to me. We talked about this briefly, but again, as a reminder, this is the fuel. It's, I'm trying to get it oriented right. Unsymmetrical dimethyl hydrazine. Hydrazine, now that I have both hands, is this blue part. The two nitrogens are connected to each other. And the methyls are these two. This is a methyl group, this is a methyl group, and it's unsymmetrical because it's on one side of the hydrazine group and not the other. And then this is the oxidizer, which is, I'm trying to think, dinitrogen, tetraoxygen, dinitrogen because of the two nitrogens, and tetraoxygen because of the four oxygens. If you notice, kind of zoom in on this, this is not a complete full double bond. There's nitrogen likes to have 3 bonds and oxygen likes to have 2 bonds. So you notice there's 1 bond here, 1 bond, 1 bond. But there's some resonance going on, which means that between each one of these V's, there's another charge that's spread out over the atoms, and I did my best to replicate that resonance by just using half pi bonds in my molecule set. So there's your chemistry explanation, and this is definitely the oxidizer because it will totally react with everything else. So liquid fuel and oxidizer. DPI is totally all on that. So and yeah, the fuel that when it's lit is really pretty, but it's also really toxic. So gluten-free space asks, are there advantages of solid over liquid? Yes and no. The advantages to solid fuel rockets over liquid is that they are more stable, they can be stored, and they don't have to be like if something's using liquid oxygen as an oxidizer, it has to be continuously vented and cooled all the way up until the moment of flight. I think the hoses detach as the rocket starts going up. And that's why you see some venting on some rockets. Same thing if liquid hydrogen is used as the fuel. So the solid fuel can be stored longer, which means you can just kind of stash it away and all those other things. The solid fuel will be better for the sea launch because there's essentially less equipment to worry about. It's worse because I feel like it's probably worse for the environment. Also, solid fuel is essentially what's in intercontinental ballistic missiles, which, if you don't know, are just space rockets aimed in the wrong direction. That's how we got rockets, people. Just from missiles being aimed in the wrong direction. Yeah. So that's kind of my pros and cons of solid fuel. Iran, for both of their launches recently, used solid fuel because I think they try to keep their stuff as secretive as possible, and so does some China. Nak asks, what is Kitty's name? Kitty's name is Tuffy, and he is a boy kitty. He is totally a boy kitty. And he is a very amazing kitty. He's just apparently attracted to the sound of my voice. As Larry says, soft kitty, pretty kitty, little ball of tyranny. Yes, this is my life. Astro YYZ says, I wonder if those two lucky winners to the Long March 11 launch will have to sign an NDA. Probably. I don't know. Yeah. So there are a bunch of different Soyuz rockets. Okay. So I think it skipped ahead a little bit, but I think we're good. Ranger was meant to litho brake with only working cameras. I mean, litho braking, for those of you that don't understand, means crash. Literally just crash into a planet or a small world. So yeah. Soyuz frigates. DPI says, I think there are currently 3 different Soyuz frigate, Soyuz 2, and what they sell the European. So, I don't know. It's just, all the Soyuzes are weird. Also, YYZ points out that liquid can be throttled and started and stopped once you light a solid fuel engine. You can't relight it. There's no shutting it off. It burns till it's done. It just burns till it's done. Oh, Larry Weird and Proud also asked that up. Or pull that up. So, their target is imaginary windows. Solid fuel usually has a lower energy density as well. Thanks for the info, DPI. My memory is very squishy. And as Larry points out, liquid oxygen methane can be made with solar power, so that's actually pretty cool. The boosters, Smithtown asked, the boosters on the shuttle were solid fuel, right? And apparently the answer is yes. Yes. So, the cat is... My dog has a thing with licking the cat. So my cat is very happy on the ground, and the dog is very happy on the ground. Licking the cat. So the external tank was liquid. Astro YYZ asked, as the external tank was liquid, it used both. Oh, right. And SSME is Hydrolox, right? I don't know what SSME is. SLS has even bigger. SRB. Wow. I think SRB stands for strap-on booster, right? Space Shuttle Main Engine. I think it was, actually. And Hydrolox is just, Hydra for oxygen, or for Hydra for hydrogen, and LOX for liquid oxygen, which is this. Yeah, shuttles. Shuttles. Oh, the shuttles. I know. So we had, I got to see at one point a ceramic tile of the shuttle, and it was actually pretty light. Pretty light. SLS has SSMEs too. I don't know, because I am woefully not up to date with SLS, because I think my feeling is that until SLS really happens, I don't need to know about it. I want SLS to happen, I really do, but I have essentially within the last year I've started learning about rockets, and there's a lot to learn about rockets, so yeah. What are you guys breaking? Oh my goodness. Anyways, Wayne Johnson, 64, donated 100 bits. Here's the Cheerios. Hey, Puck, can you speak? Come on, speak. Tinker, speak. They're looking at me. Anyways, I say thank you. Really, trust me, the dogs say thank you. And here's the Cheerios. And make it rain. All right, and another handful for good nature. Puck is looking for Cheerios already. That's because I tossed a couple handful just to get him on camera. And look, his ears perk up. And make it rain. SLS will happen. Too much money for the mega corporations on the line. Yeah. I'm sure it'll happen. I'm kind of hoping there'll be a congressional hearing about it so I can read about it and snicker. But still, the best congressional hearing I've ever read is about space toilets. I know, you want back up here now. Okay. Just here. Will you let me hold you in a way that people can see you? No? Alright, so is there any other questions? I mean, we could talk about space toilets. We can always talk about space toilets. Otherwise, I think the cat wants some attention. Cat, yeah. I think he just wants humans, because I fed him before the stream. So, or are you just... He's got some lovely brown markings. He does. He's a very pretty cat. He's also old and has no teeth. So... Are you trying to tell me you're hungry and you want some more food? And this is how you tell me, is by annoying me and walking all over the computer and, you know, photo bombing. Stream bombing. So. Meow. Alright, so I don't see... just like me. And he's done. So I don't see any more questions, so I am going to start the wall of text. The great wall of text. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Thank you for, you know, dealing with my tiny bit of anarchy, because there is a tiny bit of anarchy. And there may or may not be a rock support stream tonight. If you're in Discord and you want to be notified of rock support streams, go to Bennu Mappers or bot spam to type in the command !Bennu mapper, and that will add a role to you and possibly change the color of your name. Hi, you wanna talk about that? And possibly change the color of your name in Discord, and when I do a rock support stream, I will notify you, and then you can, you know, hang out for the rock support stream, because right now they are not scheduled. They kind of happen when I feel up to it, and I can mark rocks for about an hour and a half before I'm tired. So yeah, we can sit and mark, you know, 3 images together, and if there's 16 of us doing 3 images, that's 3 images that are done, like completely done. So that would be awesome. So with that, I'm going to start the wall of text, the great wall of text. So first of all, this has been Daily Space, and I've been your host, Annie Wilson. We do Daily Space most Mondays through Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Right now that's 1700 hours UTC. When the time inevitably changes again, just remember 1 p.m. Eastern. We also stream, and by we, I mean me, stream on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I colorize space telescope data. I have been doing this for about a year now. That's kind of terrifying when I think about it. So right now I'm working on Spitzer Space Telescope images, which is new because I'm used to working on Hubble. Space telescope images do not come down in the pretty colors that you're used to seeing. They come down in grayscale, and I kind of walk you through all the steps of getting the data, cleaning up the data, stacking the data, and colorizing the data. And that's where we're at now. We're on colorizing. Our host institution is PSI, that's Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona, working in collaboration with Youngstown State University here in Youngstown. Please make the rain stop, Ohio. PSI is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, which is just fancy speak for your donations are tax deductible where laws allow. Speaking of donations, we are brought to you by you, so thank you so much for all of your support. Your donations, your pledges on Patreon, your bits, your subs, thank you. Every little bit of it really does help. If you can't afford to do any of that, we get it. Really, we do. We understand it. And you can help us in other ways by, following us. Follows are free. Telling your friends about us. Hanging out in our Discord. Hanging out on streams. That's how you can help us if you can't afford to do any of that other stuff. And we still love you the same. We really do. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, our streams. We archive them on YouTube after a day or so. So if you missed the video on demand, if you missed the live stream, check it out on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, why aren't you watching us on Twitch? You're missing all the fun and the cat outtakes. And sometimes I have to do the entire show over again because of the cat. And I think that's all of the wall of text, aside from mark maps or mark rocks on Bennu. Help us find Osiris Rex a safe place to land. And I think that's all the things, so have a wonderful insert time of day here. I forgot to ask you guys for suggestions of who to raid, so if you want to pop that into chat real quick. While I'm running the credits, I can find somebody to raid. But until then, until I see you again, have a nice insert time of day here. Be awesome to each other, and if the skies allow, and you don't live in Youngstown where it's always cloudy, look up. And bye.